Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I had a really amazing day today at the thrift shops. Some really good items I think here. I think you're going to enjoy this. I'll go through it sequentially. I'm not going to save like the best for last kind of thing. It's sort of the best throughout because this was really a great day. Prices on most of the stuff was pretty decent too, so not so bad. I'll get started immediately. The first thing that I wanted to show you here is a stack of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that I picked up at a Goodwill. This is really awesome. Each of these titles $5, but you'll see why I paid that much for a lot of these titles. Now I know this one here is probably not worth that much, but I didn't have it already, so I thought I'd go for it. And it's R-Type. This is sort of my edition because these other ones, a lot of them I'm going to be selling. So the first one there is R-Type. Again, for $5 I picked up Super Mario Deluxe. I already have this one, so it'll probably just go for trade kind of thing. One I didn't have was Operation C, which is a Contra game for the Game Boy, so don't really know a whole lot about that one. I'll have to check it out. That's kind of cool. Again, for $5, Donkey Kong Country. Pretty cool right there. And then one I didn't have and really happy to get, I hope it saves and everything like that, is The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. That's pretty cool. You know, Legend of Zelda, obviously, pretty awesome. A copy of Legend of Zelda DX, again for $5. This one here I already have. This one's probably not going to be in as good a shape as the ones I have, and I do have this game boxed already. Moving on to the last two. People will appreciate this more than I probably do. The first one is Pokemon Gold version. I have no idea if this saves yet, but if it does, it's a pretty good wicked deal for $5. And then finally, last but not least, and came in one of these cases here, is Pokemon Silver for $5. So all in all, pretty good haul right there. I mean, those games themselves, put it all together, you're probably looking at about $100. So I got that for $40. I thought that was a pretty good deal all around, and most of that I'm going to be selling because I do believe I already have gold. I'll have to double check. I don't know which one's in better condition, this one or mine. And then I know I have silver, so that'll go. Legend of Zelda DX, that's going to go. I think I have Donkey Kong Country, I'd have to double check, so that's probably going to go. And I know I have Super Mario Deluxe, so that's going to go. So that'll probably end up recouping my $40 right there, and the rest of the ones I get to keep for free, which is really an awesome deal for me. Moving on, I went to a Talese, there was nothing there. I went into a Value Village, and this Value Village has been overpriced pretty much since the start of collecting. The only time I ever really pick stuff up there is if it's, you know, like an epic kind of game sort of thing. Then I'm willing to pay like the $7 or $8 price tag on things, but I haven't really found a whole lot there over time. I think I found a few things, usually controllers and things like that. I was walking through the place, it was pretty much cleared out because that place gets hit up basically constantly. But I was walking through the place and people were putting things on the shelves, like the employees were putting things on shelves. One of them was hauling around one of these carts that you kind of pull along the floor. Just a really tiny cart. Usually people just use it for shopping, but she was unloading a few things from there, and sitting on top of it was this, and I didn't even hesitate when I saw it. I just reached in and grabbed it and kept walking kind of thing, right off the cart. And it is a bundle. Actually, I'll show you how much I paid for it first, and you're going to be amazed by this, because I don't even understand why it was. But it's for $3. I bought this bundle right here, which you can already see is a SP with a bunch of games. So I'll get into this. I haven't even opened it yet. So hopefully this is even more better than I think, because I couldn't quite see everything that's in there. So I'll just rip this open. See what we got. Came with a bunch of games. And there's actually one in the system as well. So here's the system. Not in the world's greatest shape by any stretch of the imagination. Probably just needs to be cleaned up. The screen looks pretty good. The system's kind of beat up. and it probably, well, it powers on, so that's pretty cool right there. That's a good sign. And I do have the charger because that came in here as well. There's also a game inside, but I'll show that after. Yeah, so it's a Game Boy Advance SP charger, official one. So that's pretty wicked. So far for my $3, I think I'm doing pretty well. And now I'll get into the games. There's a big pile of them here, so let's get into this. The first one here is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Wrath of the Darkwool King or something, I don't know. What else do we have here? There's SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, which I believe I already have, and I'm trying to actually sell that as well, so that's alright. The next one is Rocket Power Zero Gravity Zone. So I don't know anything about that one. Could be a hidden gem, I have no idea. It's a Nickelodeon game, I can't imagine it's that great necessarily. The next one is Crash Bandicoot The Huge Adventure. So that's pretty awesome right there. Crash game, didn't have that. That's going to definitely go in the collection. Another copy, which this is about my third copy of this now. Mario Kart Super Circuit, which is always an easy game to sell because it's quite popular. And then not one, but 2 copies of Super Mario Advance, the first one. So that was everything for $3. The system, the charger, and all these games. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games for that amount of money. I was blown away by that. When I took this up to the register, the girl behind the counter looked at it and says that's an amazing price, because she knows the prices of these things and what they usually price them for. She goes, that's some sort of mistake or whatever. And I said, well, that's what I'm paying because that's what it's priced at. Sometimes when they see stuff like that, they try to say things like that to me, and I'm like, well, you put it on the floor, so that's what I'm going for, essentially. And she kind of looked at it and she started going through and going, normally we charge $19.99 for the system and $5.99 for the games and things like that. And I said, well, I guess you win some, you lose some kind of thing. And she goes, well, that's a total, what did she call it? She said it was a total waste or something like that is what she called it. And I went, well, not for me kind of thing. And she goes, yeah, no doubt. And I was just sitting there because there's a guy in front of me and she noticed this and she's talking to me even though she's serving him. And I'm just like, come on, lady, ring this through. Like, I don't need you guys holding this on me or something like that. Like, it's got the price on it, ring it through. She did. It was totally awesome. Couldn't believe it for $3. Getting that deal is just unbelievable. Alright, so the last place that I stopped here was a Goodwill, and the day before, this comes with a little bit of a story, so you have to bear with me here, but the day before I picked up Super Soccer from this store, and I didn't tell this in my last video, in that pickups video, because I was really rushed for time. I got home late because I had done the SNES deal that I showed you yesterday, and I didn't really have time to make a very long video. So I kept it short and essentially cut that story out of it. But I'll tell that to you now because it kind of syncs up with this situation. So what happened was, when I went in, I bought the Super Soccer game. While I was standing there, I asked the cashier about the game. I said, is there any other games that came in today? And you know, I really shouldn't, because it just kind of infuriates me when they answer that there was. And I knew that there was, I just had a feeling. And she said, yeah, there were a ton of them that came in, and somebody just bought them all, and it was half price day yesterday, so they bought them all for $2 each. Somebody really scored out there from the sounds of it, and this is the conversation I was having with her yesterday. And I kind of left the store a little bit furious, not like obviously that somebody got them or whatever, but it's just like I missed out, and there was a great opportunity there to pick up a whole ton of titles, and I totally missed out on that. But when I went back in today, I kind of redeemed myself a little bit because I found this game right here, which is NBA Live 08. I paid $2 for this, which is really wicked because it's totally empty and there's no game inside because somebody stole it. So I ended up asking for this if they wanted this or whatever, if they're going to throw it out, whatnot, and they gave it to me for free, which is really wicked. So, you know, an extra case in case something gets cracked, or I have a loose game that I need to put a case on around, kind of thing. It's pretty awesome. Now, the actual redemption part though is this. There were no other games there today. I took a very, very close look at everything, but I did find 2 items, actually 3 items, but 2 of them are these, which are 2 Super Nintendo systems. The first one here does not have the white, the gray, like circular piece that goes in where the power goes in. Has that problem with it having been broken off. So I don't know if this one's definitely going to work or anything like that. It still has 2 metal prongs coming out of it, so I'm wondering if that's okay to plug in with an AC adapter. I'm not really going to try it out. I'll probably end up fixing this. I am aware that you can order parts to repair these, so I'll have to look into that, or I might just try to sell this as is. But for this one here, I paid $15, and it did come with the official power supply, which is super awesome because I do have one official power supply that I use, and then I do have aftermarket. I have one aftermarket one that came with the system yesterday, and I have a number of different systems that I've found that don't have power supplies. So this is really wicked to actually find like a Super Nintendo power supply, the official one. So then moving on, I'll get to the other system here now. This one here is in better shape for sure. The other one had a couple of cosmetic scratches and stuff on the top. This one's, I'd say, near perfect. This might actually replace the one that I have because it's in such great shape. So it's right here. This one actually has that piece in it and everything, so good to go. Haven't tested it out. Hopefully it works. I don't really see any reason why it wouldn't, because it looks pretty decent to me. It looks fairly clean as well, but I obviously will clean it up no matter what. And then that one also came with the power supply, so now I have 2 of these power supplies. So even if these consoles don't work, the 15 bucks, you know, will make it so I can complete some of the systems I have lying around that are loose, and I'll be able to actually sell those systems because I'll be able to complete them. I don't really like selling systems that don't have their power supplies and stuff like that. Just the kind of person I am. The next thing I actually got thrown in for free, not because they were throwing it in for free, it's because of an oversight, and I wasn't trying to take advantage of the situation. I was just really busy. I was going to pick up my son from daycare, and I just didn't notice that this had happened. But I can't remember which system it was in, but when I was grabbing things off the shelf, I had my hands full. I had 2 systems in my hands, and I had 2 power supplies. I'm trying to balance all this stuff, and then I found this, so I just kind of took it and I did this with it when I took it up to the counter, and she didn't really charge me for that because of that reason. She must have saw this as a complete system and that it all just came together for $15.01 and didn't bother charging me for it. They had a price tag of $5.05 on it. I didn't notice at the time because I was in such a rush, but this controller is pretty awesome right here. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before. If you haven't, it's pretty sweet. You know, it has like your normal D-pads and your shoulder buttons and all that, and it, generally speaking, is pretty much like a Super Nintendo controller. It's very much the same dimensions, has a little bit of a different shape to it up here, probably because of all the extra hardware that's in it, but it has all these extra options on it. So it has this slow button here, you can slow down. Actually has multiple settings on slow, so I guess that, well, actually it's probably just one where you can slow it down. But this is the part that's really cool. Each one of these little switches that you can see here, all these multicolored switches, correspond to the buttons. For instance, this button right here, which is the A button, has a turbo or auto fire button on it. So instead of playing a game going, you could actually just flick it on and away it goes. It will press that button for you. So all of the buttons on this controller have that, obviously, other than start and select. But everything else has these buttons that have that functionality, either turbo or auto fire on, which I think will save a lot of carpal tunnel syndrome. It looks like it's in really good shape, so I don't see any reason why this wouldn't work. I'll have to test it out, obviously, just like everything else, but you know, it was thrown in for free, so not a bad deal at all. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I will see you all later.